What if I told you there's a kind of secret key for the internet? One that could unlock doors you're definitely not supposed to open. Well, the wild part is, sometimes that key is hiding in plain sight, disguised as a super common but incredibly dangerous security flaw. Let's dig in and see exactly how it works.
Okay, let's jump right into a scenario. Imagine this. You're logged into your bank account, looking at your own details. Totally normal. But then you glance up at the web address and you see something like account ID equals 1234. Just for fun, your curiosity gets the best of you. You change that 4 to a 5 and you hit enter. What do you think happens next? In a perfect world, you just get an error message. But what if, instead, you were suddenly staring at someone else's bank account? Yeah, that's exactly where our story begins.
So, that really alarming possibility we just talked about? It actually has a name. We're about to unmask the culprit behind this kind of digital break-in. It's called IDOR. So, what is IDOR, really? Well, at its core, the idea is almost deceptively simple. It happens whenever a website takes something you give it, like that account number in the URL, and uses it to grab some data, but without first stopping to ask the most important question of all, hey, does this person actually have permission to see this?
Here's a great way to think about it. It's like you check into a hotel and they give you a key to your room, number 101. But the security is, well, terrible. You can literally just walk up to the front desk and say, hey, can I have the key for room 102? And they just hand it over. No questions asked. That, right there, is an IDOR vulnerability. The system just trusts your request without checking if you're supposed to be making it.
All right, so now that we know what we're looking for, let's go follow the clues and see how this thing actually shows up out there in the real world.
And this brings us right back to our bank account example. It's really this simple. On the left, you've got a normal, legitimate URL for your account. On the right, all an attacker does is change that one little number. If the website is vulnerable, it just obediently fetches the data for account 1235 and shows it to them. It's scary direct. And this isn't just about banks, of course. It could be any website that uses some kind of customer number to look up records. When an attacker is able to see data that belongs to other users who have the same level of access as them, there's a technical term for it: horizontal privilege escalation. Think of it like moving sideways in an organization chart. You're not getting promoted to an admin, that's vertical escalation. You're just peeking into the files of your coworkers. It's not just about databases either. Imagine a site that stores private chat logs as simple text files, and they name them sequentially. 1214.txt, 1214.5.txt, and so on. If you can get to your own file, what's stopping you from just typing in the next number in the URL? If there's an IDOR vulnerability, absolutely nothing. This is such a classic mistake. Using predictable names for sensitive files just creates a massive, massive security hole. So here's the thing. IDOR isn't just one simple trick. It's a pretty versatile culprit, and it has a bunch of different disguises. Let's take a quick look at some of them so we get the full picture.
Beyond just changing a number in a URL, attackers can get creative. They can mess with hidden data that gets sent in a web form. They can tamper with the little bits of data stored in your browser's cookies to try and impersonate someone else. Or they might even try to climb up and down the website's folder structure to find sensitive system files. Each one of these is just a different flavor of the exact same problem, blindly trusting whatever the user sends you. Okay, that was all a bit scary, right? We've seen the crime scenes, we get how the culprit works, so how do we stop them? Let's talk about building our digital fortress. This right here is the number one rule. It is the foundational principle of defending against IDOR. If the user never even sees the real internal ID, the actual key that unlocks a row in the database, then they can't possibly mess with it. The absolute best defense is to hide that secret key from the very start. So how do you actually do that? Well, it breaks down into a few key steps. First, and this is non-negotiable, always check permissions. Before any data gets sent back, the server has to ask, is this person allowed to see this? Second, use what are called indirect references. Instead of showing the real ID, give the user a temporary random token that's tied only to their login session. Third, if you absolutely have to use IDs, make them unpredictable. A long random string is way harder to guess than the number 123. And finally, the golden rule of all web security: never, ever trust user input. Validate everything.
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground, from the digital crime scene all the way to building our fortress. But as we wrap this all up, I want to leave you with just one final thought to chew on.
As you're browsing the web later today, do me a favor, just take a look at the address bar every now and then. Do you see those simple sequential numbers in the URLs of your favorite websites? Because now you know what they could mean. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many digital doors out there are protected by nothing more than a number that's just a little too easy to guess? And is that secret key really a secret at all?